Holy crap, there's a plus 1,000 and a plus 100. Wow. And I need to grab it. Come on. And there we go. We got it. The Blaze data chip. Oh my gosh, look at him. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some more All the Mods 9. You all remember last video, I made this nice, pristine me storage system. And as you can see, something has changed. So yes, I did make the me storage system, and yes, it is at the 64K, but that's still not enough to store the mass amounts of things I had in all of these chests. I had accumulated a lot of stuff. So what I did was I made these things called me storage buses, and they work kind of like the Refined Storage's external storage ports, to where you put it onto an adjacent inventory, and then you can then access that inventory from inside of the system. So I did the same thing over here with my drawer wall, but I put it onto the storage controller, so that way it accesses all drawers that are connected to this. So then I took the opportunity to do that, and then finish up something that I had been procrastinating on. And that was to finish up the whole process of ores in the mining dimension, to where I can actually now automatically send them back home thanks to these ender chests, the new designed ender chests. You all remember how these things work. I can color code these wool patches right here to be different dyes, and then all ender chests of that color code will be connected. So this color code connects to another ender chest that's underneath my base, and it connects straight into the storage controller. But there was one thing that I didn't do that I intend to do right now, and that is to set up auto crafting. So let's go ahead and get started with the process of doing that. So if we look inside of our quest book, this line right up here, this is going to be for the auto crafting. So the first thing we're going to need is a me pattern provider, as well as a me pattern access terminal. I've already put everything I need into my JEI, so this should be rather easy. We already have those things, very, very nice. So now we got ourselves the me pattern provider. I think I can just connect this up here. That should work out just fine, so there I can, like, put the patterns. Oh, wait. I thought this was a different thing. Okay, never mind. Wait, we need that back. By the way, and then we can go ahead and then make ourselves this thing right here, which is the me pattern access terminal, which we could then put, like, here, maybe? Yeah, we can put that there. Alrighty, and we're also going to want to make another one of these, since this one did kind of use up this, so completely forgot that I needed to make two of them. But you know what? That's fine. So now that we have this thing, we'd be able to utilize this for the basic pattern processes and stuff like that. We'd need to put those in first, though, but as we don't have any patterns right now, that's really not on our agenda. And it's not going to be on our agenda for a good second. So the next thing that we're going to need is the crafting storage. This is basically where, once I request for something to be made, the crafting components are going to be stored. I am using the basic crafting unit for this, just because this is going to be the easiest one to obtain. So we can go ahead and make these things right here, and that will give us this thing called the crafting unit. As far as I know, this should just be a crafting component. Yeah, I think it is. It says device offline. So for right now, a crafting component this will only be. So we need to go ahead and then use this thing to make two things: the crafting storage and the crafting co-processing unit. Both of these, actually, we can go ahead and make the processing unit now. That was the easy part, but for this one, since I wanted it to be a fair amount, since I don't know how much of something I'd be putting in, I decided to do the 16K storage, since that one's not too demanding, but it will be a bit taxing. Oh, I need more calculation. But we already seen how I made this last video. If you haven't, check it out for this one.
5 minutes later.
Alrighty, there we go. Now we got ourselves our 16K storage thing. There we go. That should all be well and good. So now, how this baby would work. We'd put our crafting co-processor on the bottom, and then above that, we put the K thing. And as you can see, now it has converted together to create a CPU, is what it's called. There's more specific names into it, but this is the basics of what we've got going on right here. Using this, we can now start auto-crafting things in conjunction with something else, but we can't actually do anything without the means to auto-craft things in themselves. And that is going to be where this thing right here called the molecular assembler comes in. Firstly, we're going to need to make ourselves our crafting table, And then we need 2 quartz glass. I did run out of that. Either way, we should now be able to make this right here, the molecular assembler. There we go. Now that we have this bad baby, we could put this probably like, yeah, right there. That should be good enough on its own. That, oh wow, it lights up. Look at that. Dude, that's so sick. Okay, hopefully this isn't using up too many channels, because I know that these pipes have a limited amount of things they can connect to thanks to the channels. But actually, wait, no, this isn't even one that's connected to one of the sides that's connected to this thing. So yeah, that wouldn't have all the channels. These things should only have 8. I wonder if I could, like, tweak that a little bit. Okay, so I tweaked the things around a bit, and it should all still work just fine. Okay, there we go. So now this thing will connect to here, because the way that this works, it's really weird. The pipes can only connect to 8 different things, and I don't think the buses count, but I'm not sure. But that's by themselves. When they connect to one side of the controller, it adds 32 more that it can connect to, and these things are called channels. So I just moved that power cell down so that way it can connect to this side, just to be safe. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to do like a lot more rearranging of that thing in the future, but for right now, that should be fine. So now we can put that thing on there, and whenever we put a pattern into here, it will then utilize this thing down here basically as its crafting table. So now, really, all we would need would be a pattern of sorts. We can go ahead and use this to make 2 of these blank patterns right there. And now all that remains, really, is to just use that to make some sort of pattern. But we need a pattern encoding terminal in order to do that. And there we go. We got ourselves the me terminal. Okay, cool. So now we could put that one right there. I don't want to make, like, any more of these because I don't really have to. And also, this actually doesn't look terrible. Actually, like, having them all on their own side of the cable, pretty nice, actually. Okay, but now if I put that into there, and then I were to find something craftable that I do not have in a compacting drawer. Okay, I think I have the perfect idea for what I want to do, since I really don't have that much I actually currently need to auto craft, but I wanted to get this out of the way just for a later date. So what we want is we're going to make some blaze powder automatically. That was with an E. So how you do this is you put the output right there. Nope, maybe you don't. You just put the blaze powder. Okay, that's interesting. So they've changed it now, because the guide I was looking at for when I was researching how auto crafting works, they had it in the 1.18 version. So this has clearly changed since then. That's good. So now we've got ourselves the blaze powder. And then in this one, we could go ahead and then get ourselves an Eye of Ender, but I literally just forgot that I don't need to do it like that. Okay, so now we can go ahead, take an Ender Pearl right there, and then I forgot I needed the blaze powder, put that there, and now this pattern will be converted to that. I don't know if this works like it did in refined storage, to where if I request one thing that needs a previous thing that I don't have to be constructed, if it'll make it. So that is what we're going to test right now, is if we take this thing out, we can now have a craft button. So if we go over to I, and we ask to make one of these, holy crap, there's a plus 1,000 and a plus 100, wow. Huh, that's actually really cool. Okay, so it does have a to craft thing. Okay, so crafting CPU automatic, number 1. Let's just leave it automatic and then see what happens. And it made it! Sick! Okay, so we've got auto crafting now. Yay! Cool. So one thing I do want to note is when you're using this thing to make the patterns, there are different categories. There's processing, smithing, stone cutting, and then also crafting. For the stone cutting and the smithing, those things work exactly like you would in those tables, and then those things would also be used within the assembler to then make that process. But for processing like this, for something like smelting something, you would need to have the pattern provider over a furnace. And then you would need to do some pipings with an importer and an exporter manually. A minor inconvenience, but that is how that would work. Regardless, we've got our auto crafting now, baby. Awesome. Which means now we can get on to another thing that I wanted to do today, because we really need to do this just that way I can do a bunch of this stuff off screen. So we need to get it into the table. So what I want to get into is I want to do a small amount of mystical agricultures. I don't want to rely on that too much in this pack due to lag things when it comes to crops. So I want to try and use this one as little as possible. So firstly, we're going to need to make a buttload of red dye. I think I need 10 of them. Yeah, we'll do 10 just to be safe. So that way we can then go ahead and then make a bunch of that into red wool. There we go. So now we should have enough to be able to make the things that we need. So we're going to do the infusion altar, and then we're going to make these infusion pedestals. These are what's going to allow us to make the seeds. Actually, wait, I think I only needed 8 of these. Well, you know what? That's fine. I got an extra red wool for an undisclosed time later. So then, the seeds that we're going to be making are pretty much just going to be seeds for blocks and or other things that I cannot really get easily, and I just don't want to deal with what that kind of processing would be. The first 2 seeds that we're going to be doing is going to be water and dirt, so that way we can use those essences to automatically make clay. It is nighttime outside, and I'm frozen. But yeah, we are going to be doing this outside just because this will have the most space, so I'll know where everything is. Okay, cool. So now we just need to place these things along the ghost blocks. There we go. Now we got our altar ready. So now, to make these 2 seeds, they're both at the inferium level. But the water one is going to take some water agglomerate. How do you say that? Agglomeratio. I think that's right. Okay, it's gonna take some water agglo. We're just gonna call it that. And then the dirt one will just take 4 blocks of dirt. Now the agglomeratio takes a gravel, a dirt, a clay ball, and then 1 water bucket to just make 1 of these. And I need 4 of them. Alrighty, now we should have enough for the water agglomerate. Oh, that's unfortunate. It doesn't actually put the water back in, it just takes away the bucket. That's another point for refined storage, I tell you what. Oh, there we go, now we got ourselves the water. And we can also grab our inferium while we're here, and then we'll grab our dirt when we're outside. Now, the key thing to all of this is this thing right here called prosperity seeds. It takes 4 things called prosperity shards, which can be mined from prosperity ore, and then combined with seeds, and then you get these things. And these are what is going to allow us to create the seeds. You can't actually use these things for growing. They are a crafting ingredient. So what we need to do is we need to put the seed right there, and then we can place down our agglomerate and or whatever the process thing is, because all of these things are going to have a corresponding essence depending on the tier of the thing, as well as their ingredient. For this case, it's gonna be the agglomerate, and for the next one's case, it's gonna be dirt. I have particles turned off, don't I? Yeah, I do. Oh gosh, I forgot about that because this mod pack is so demanding, I had to turn off my particles. Oh my gosh. My computer's not a potato, don't get me wrong. It's like a sweet potato, okay? It's food, it's good enough, but it has some problems. Either way, we can go ahead and place down the dirt right here, and then we can put down our final one right smack here, as all of this should now start to condense down. It's probably already going in it, unless I need to flick the lever again. Do I need to flick the lever again? I think I might need to flick the lever again. Oh yeah, because the status is off, so of course I wasn't doing it. Dang it! No! I failed you, my dirt seeds. I am so sorry. Either way, though, now we got ourselves our dirt seeds. Now, the reason why I wanted these was to make clay, but the reason I need clay is for a very special reason. Because clay really doesn't have any other way that you can really sustainably generate it. There's not much you can do for it, if anything at all. But with this, you can craft it, and with the clay, we can make so many things. Especially with the hostile neural networks, which pretty much revolve around clay. And that is the real reason why I wanted to start this. But also so that way I could see the idea of mystical agricultures in, because there are a lot of things that can have seeds. So if you ever see any new seeds in the future that I did not make on screen, because I probably won't be doing that, it was all thanks to this baby right here. You're welcome. Alrighty, so for this next thing, we're gonna need to use all of this stuff right here. 4 clay, smooth stone, 2 redstone, a gold ingot, that was the word, and then a redstone repeater. So that way we can then make these 2 things right here called the module frameworks. In order for us to utilize these, we need to right-click an entity. But that is going to be for a little bit later. The next thing we need is going to be this deep learner. And this thing, once we open it up, we can stick these modules in once they're configured to a specific mob. So now what we got to do is we need to go ahead and go find these specific mobs. And fortunately, I know exactly where we can find the first one. We're gonna need to go over to here where my vibranium farm is, because this is the closest to a spawner of one of these creatures that I'm gonna be looking for. Alrighty, the first creature I'm looking for is right over here. We got ourselves a blaze. This is what we're looking for, and I need to grab it. Come on, and there we go! We got it, the blaze data chip. Oh my gosh, look at him! It's like I'm holding a tiny little blaze within the palm of my hand. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the old version of this mod, or I think it might have just been its predecessor, that was not this sophisticated. And I absolutely love how it's turned out now. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. So now that we have this thing right here, it has a faulty tier. We can upgrade this by having this in the deep learner, and then have the deep learner in our offhand or in just an inventory source. I think there's a curio for it, but it does not matter. There are 6 remaining. And now what we would do is we can upgrade this thing by killing blazes. To get to the next level, we need 6 blazes. So that leaves 2 blazes remaining to be slaughtered. Now we must wait forever and ever. Always waiting. Forever waiting. Never not waiting. Oh, hey, we're not waiting. Look, 2 of them exactly. And there we go. Now this thing has upgraded to the basic tier. We can go ahead and leave right now. We do not need to fight these guys anymore, because now that we're at the basic tier, we can automatically upgrade this thing within a simulation chamber. But that will come in a little bit. Now we need to go back and find the second creature. And to give you a hint, you have about 20 or so seconds. The creature I am looking for is the only mob in vanilla Minecraft that can spawn in any biome. I think it's the only one. Yes, it is the only mob that can spawn in any biome. I mean dimension. Y'all ready? The counter starts now. Here we go. Can you figure it out? Doon, 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 doon. Yeah, this is dumb. You probably could have guessed it if I'd said the thing correctly, but it is Endermen. The Endermen are going to be the little boys that we want to face, to taste with our tasty, delicious might. So let's go ahead and grab that guy right there. And oh yeah, baby, look at him. Oh, it's so beautiful. Now, you actually can also do boss mobs as well. So if I wanted to get one for the Wither, I could. Now we all know what I need to do. It is time to kill 6 Endermen. Hey, come out here. Hey, everybody want to look at my face? Come on. I just want to see your beautiful little eyes. Yes, come here, my sexy little beast. You wanna come over here? I'm gonna get a bounty of fangirls. Oh gosh, no, not that thing. No. Oh gosh, yeah. This is from the Enderman overhaul, where there's a bunch of different ones for different biomes. This is the End Enderman for some reason. Does he count? Wait, does he actually count? He does not count. Dang it. Alrighty, last guy. Come on. Die. Yes, baby. Ah, there we go. Now we've got ourselves both of these things up to their basic tier. So now that we've gotten these things up to basic, what can we do with these boys? Well, these boys are gonna help us make something very, very specific. But firstly, we need to make a simulation chamber. We're gonna need to make 2 simulation chambers. There we go. And then we'll need to make a loot fabricator. Probably 2 loot fabricators, just because, you know, we'll have both of those for their individual things. And there we go. And now to also actually be able to use these, we need this stuff right here called the prediction matrix. It uses 4 glass panes, a clay ball, gold, and iron. All things that I basically have access to now, thanks to my automation of the clay. Oh yeah, I didn't actually show it on screen, but I did actually automate the clay. I just put 2 hopper botany pots, one with each of the seeds, sent those over to a crafter right here, which has the automatic recipe, which then sends it down into this ender drawer, which sends it back to a chest that we have over there. So now that we've gotten these bad boys, we can go ahead and then put these anywhere we'd like. I'll just put them right here for now, because I don't really have a dedicated place for them. And this is mostly just so that way we can get this show on the road. So what you do is you put the blaze one right into here, and then that is going to need some of this prediction matrix. That's why we have these. So let's split this in half, put one in there, and then one in there. And now this is going to start making a progress meter. And as you can see, this thing right up here has module accuracy 5%. I will explain that once these processes are done. But what's real important is to look at this thing right here. That thing says data per kill 4. Watch what happens once it goes up. Well, wait, no, not data per kill. It's data collected. And it was 1 of 48. That is what we have now, because once this thing processes about 48 times, they will then be able to go up to the next level. That is what the simulation chamber does, is it simulates the killing of each of these mobs. So eventually, after long enough, these things will go from the basic tier all the way up to the maximum tier. But the reason why I didn't do this when it was faulty is because you can't actually do that. And once these things are done generating, they can make one of 2 things. Also, the higher the tier is, the higher this model accuracy goes. But the first thing it makes is this prediction. The generic prediction, or no, the generalized prediction, which is just basic stuff. I'll go ahead and show you right now. Basically, the generalized ones are for basic crafting things. You could use it to make ender pearls, a dragon's head, a nether star if you really want to, or a chorus fruit. That's for the ender one. And then for the nether one, you can basically just make a bunch of these different ones from the nether. They're pretty good, but all of these things you can get from these specific predictions. So in the instance of the blaze, we would then put it in a loot fabricator, and we can either get 16 blaze rods or a molten core, which really isn't that good. But you just get that from one of these, and the higher tier it is, the higher the chance you get to have it. That's why this mod is pretty good, because with their predictions, you can put them in this loot fabricator, and then you can get all of their drops, plus some things that you might not normally be able to get, but they allow for in the configs. So in the future, I will be getting more of these things for all the ones that I require, but it looks like I can't actually get any of those ones right now, so I can't really show off the loot fabricator, which is unfortunate, but I can at least show y'all what it would look like. Here it is. So it'd put power in there, you'd put your prediction right here, and then up here is where you could select what reward you'd want, and then it'll give you your reward over here. And all this can be automated. I just won't really be doing that right now, but at least this way we have access to it. So let's go ahead, open up our quest book, and then claim our quests for the day. Holy crap! That is lots of stuff. I got a hopper pot. Ooh, I got another pattern. Dude, that's so good. Okay, and let's see. Did the glitch persist? It looks like it might just have. Oh my goodness, the glitch is persisting. Slime balls. Yay! An iron wand. Builder's wands are in this? I'm genuinely upset by that. I could have used those ages ago. Oh my gosh, we got 3 hopper pots. That's awesome. We also got these unattuned augments, which are pretty good if I was doing the armor for mystical agriculture. But I don't think I'll do that. I'd have to really think if I want to do that, but to be honest, I kinda don't. Stop right there. It has been several episodes and we haven't said hi to Angel. Hello, Angel. How are you doing? Hello, Cookie. How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing real good, Angel. How are you doing? You already asked me how I'm doing, and I told you I'm doing good, you silly goose. Oh, yes, I did. But, Angel, did you know that trick I taught you? Yes, I know that trick you taught me. I'm not doing it. Would you do it for a Scooby snack? Sure. Cool. Alrighty. Angel, do the thing. Hey, did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last video where we did applied energestics. That way we can get a storage system. Bye-bye.